is your first video that you're seeing, just want to shout out to you, say hi. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and like buttons. But what I'm going to do today is actually go through my top 5 tarot decks. Now all of these are indie, so it's only top 5 indie decks really, but they are still my top 5 favorites. And the only reason I kind of thought of doing this is because I did a top 10, I found that difficult, and I was like, look, I'm going to try and squeeze it out, what my top 5. So I will be starting from my 5th one all the way, because these are going to be in order of preference. Now this has not been easy, and to be honest, 5th place was probably the hardest one to choose from, because I knew my top 3 fairly easily, maybe even top 4. But this 5th place, I'm going to be giving it to the Spacious Tarot. I really love this deck. It is, as its name, spacious. It gives you that space to really use your intuition and see past just the images. And it allows for you to have a bit more of a go at obviously using your intuition when you're doing the reads. God, it was so hard. I wanted to choose the Dark Mansion I have, or even the Bee, Journey of the Bee Tarot. Oh, I have so many indie decks that I absolutely love, and I still would recommend, obviously. This is just top 5 for me. This is a beautiful deck. Again, like I said, gives you that space. I love the art. I'll bring it up closer so you can have a look. I'll just do a bit of a shuffle through these. I won't go through each one, but absolutely beautiful. What I am slightly disappointed about with this deck, it shuffles really well. I wonder, maybe you can see it here. Look at this. It chips. It does chip. So just a heads up, guys, if that is something that's going to bother you, then maybe, well, I still think you should get it anyway. I mean, but just be aware of it. Just be aware that it does chip. And I haven't used this deck much, but again, very lovely deck. It really opens the playing field of possibilities. Yes, obviously it still has the Rider-Waite meanings of them, so you can still use them. Even if for a learner, you can still use them. Maybe it's a good chance for a beginner, once you have kind of gotten to know your cards, the Rider-Waite Smith system, it might be a good way to start exploring your intuition. That's one of my favorite cards on this deck, by the way. One of them. I like that one too. There's another one. See if I can find... Oh, the Emperor. Yeah, I love the Emperor as the poppy. You know, you just think of the fallen soldiers. It's beautiful. The Hierophant's great as well. Sun. All right. So, at number 5 was the Spacious Tarot. What's going to be my number 4? I will share with you now. So, number 4 is the Moonchild Tarot. Beautiful deck. Gilding is done so well. I'll show it to you. One thing about this deck is I don't think I have small hands, but it is quite big. It's almost like oracle size. So it's really difficult to shuffle. I can do it, but I do struggle with shuffling these cards. This is a collage deck. I was actually surprised how much I like the collage decks. My first few decks that I got were all just illustrated, which are beautiful. I still like illustrated, but I found through some of the collage decks that, I mean, look at that. That's stunning, isn't it? Shadow work. Yeah, I found through collage decks and to experience them that some of them can absolutely speak to you no problems and really have the meaning there. This one I use for like self growth and like spiritual healing. I just think it's fantastic for that. Keeps you in the lighter realm. But it's a beautiful deck. Highly recommend it. Like I said, the only downside is it is a little bit big, but not too much bigger than that Oracle, I guess, or roughly the same size. So that was my number 4. At number 3, I have the Goliath Tarot deck. This is a beautifully illustrated tarot deck. Beautiful drawings. He's done a fantastic job. Oh, try and get it open. Quality of this guidebook is fantastic. There is so much to read in here and explore. It's done so well. Feels like a magazine, by the way. And the backs are gorgeous. This deck is actually a little bit smaller than the Moonchild. A little bit, not much. It's quite thick, or wide, I should say. Move this out of the way. The edging is gorgeous, lovely matte black, but it's got that nice matte to it, so it doesn't ruin as easy. But again, as you can see, I haven't quite used this a lot yet. But I wanted a black and white deck, and I thought, what better deck to have in my collection as a black and white deck than the Goliath one. Another thing that I kind of liked is the borders. Now, I'm not too keen on borders, but it's thin enough to not take away from the imagery, but it also kind of reminds me of a Polaroid photo. It really does. Now with this deck, I have used it for digging into your soul. You know, it's really a deck that you can use to go maybe down the darker side of the road or the valley, and really explore your darker selves. We all have it, and be comfortable with it, I suppose. Sometimes when you know about your dark side, you can maybe control it better, whether it's lust, whether it's insecurities, whether, you know, I just find that this really helps you explore that and helps you grow from it. I feel like this is more of an emotional deck, whereas the Moonchild seems more of a spiritual deck for me. Because this is a true tarot in the sense of it will tell you how things are, and it's not afraid to upset your feelings. Beautiful deck, absolutely love it. That's why this one is my number 3. Pop this away. So whilst I pop this away, I will let you know that my number 2 is the Seers Tarot. Chris Ann, everyone knows by now, is one of my favorite creators. One of them, there's so many out there that are beautiful. Goliath is one of them as well. But Chris Ann's decks all speak to me, absolutely every single one of them. And this was the first deck that I actually bought from her. And I was delighted. I mean, look at this guidebook, another lovely filled guidebook filled with knowledge. And the box isn't that great, but you know what, I don't really mind. I love the little messages she has for you. So again, this tarot deck I've not used that often. I did start using it because I didn't have the commercial at the time. See, it starts to chip away a little bit, not too much. But wow, what a stunning deck. I love the art, I love the color. I feel like I could do any kind of reading with this. It's really, you know, you could do a Dark Night of the Soul reading, you can just do a general reading, absolutely anything. I am drawn to this deck, even just to look at it. It's gorgeous. but I just love the colours she used. I love her artistry, and yeah, it's just well worth it. Now with the indie deck, I'm not going to shuffle this, but it is a normal size tarot deck, which is great. The stock quality is fantastic. I think it was 350 GM. You know, got a bit of bend to that, but obviously I don't like bending these. But you can do any kind of read, but it's just such an inspiring deck. So this is my number 2. So at number 1, oh, I tell you what, number 1 is the Muse Tarot. This one has really just won my heart over. I bought it because I had at the time backed the Seers Tarot, and I had seen this one was there as well, and I thought, you know what, collage isn't really my favorite artwork until I got this deck. Absolutely love it. Again, this is one that I don't really use. I've got the commercial deck for it. The colors are just so vibrant. I was not expecting this deck to actually speak to me the way it does. I feel like I can, if I'm having a bad time, I can just reach for it. If it's just general reading, soul reading, absolutely anything I throw at this deck, it will speak to me, you know. And I have to say, it's more an enlightening deck for me. I mean, it doesn't come across as harsh, let's say, but sometimes you need that. It is a lot lighter, but it still tells you how it is. It's just maybe not as dark as the Goliath one, or as harsh, but yeah, it will still tell you how things are. But I've absolutely fallen in love, and this is, I suppose, my first collage deck, and then I got the Moonchild as well. But no regrets, absolutely no regrets. I am delighted. This will never leave my my collection. It's like a pile. It's a mountain at the moment full of decks. So yeah, that's my number 1. So those are all my top 5 decks, and not just because they're indie, but they all actually are indie decks as well. I do like to support the creators, but they're fantastic. Really have changed the world of tarot for me. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned, because I will be doing a video of my favorite commercial decks as well. See ya. Bye.